Oh, every time I hear the sound, that was the sound of Mr. Mutabaruka, the Barefoot Dread. We started out giving you Mad Over Me, Yellowman from out of 1981, then went into 1982. Well, we couldn't just find two tune Richie. So we did Pastor Kutchi, Mighty Diamonds, Night Nurse, Gregory Isaacs, Big Ship with Freddie McGregor, Police in Helicopter, John Holt, and of course, the dub poetry, Mutabaruka, the man who walked into the hotel and said, "Well, you know with the barefoot?" Him say, "Boss, not a barefoot, that's my foot."
God, you're gonna buy the liquor after the program is over, right? God, I don't know where you get that from. Mikey, the significance. Muta. Muta was not the first dub poet. People like
Onura,
Linton Kwesi
Johnson.
Take that. Actually, yes. Linton wasn't even the first. Oko Onura.
I remember Orlando Wong.
I remember presiding over a function at the library. I was working at the library, 1976, 77, when just before they released him from prison, he had released his book called Echo, and that was the genesis of dub poetry. And then the Cultural Training Center across around the corner at Arthurwin Drive, you had people like Mikey Smith and a whole host of others. So Kwesi Johnson actually came afterwards, but because of the British thing, we pay more attention.
And also, before you come in, Mikey, Linton Kwesi had a very big song too called the Anti-Sus Poem, Sonny's Letter, which described, that was...
Yeah, man, that's probably my favorite thing.
That came out in 1980.
Yeah.
But your thoughts, Mike?
No, I think we just continue to see the emergence of just how things was diversifying. It wasn't any one subject matter. Again, people are talking about different things. And the branding, because I mean that Big Ship thing branded Freddie McGregor to this date, that Big Ship.
To this day. In fact, that's the name of his promotion company, Big Ship Promotion.
Big song for him.
And him label too.
Powerful song for him, yeah man, and the label. And the diversity. But God, what had interest to me is, I know you chose a couple songs out of a whole heap of other songs that you had highlighted. You had earmarked. It would be interesting to me to hear some other songs that we didn't play, but featured very strongly in that era.
1982 and the 1980s was an era that, you're talking about songs like Eddie Fitzroy, The Gun.
Yeah.
Rita Marley coming out to songs like Harambe. Again, Eddie Fitzroy, the same year with his First Class Citizen album, that was a massive album. Because you're talking about songs like Youth Man Penitentiary, African Queen, Gregory Isaacs, Stranger in the Town. Freddie McGregor also had another song, Holy Mount Zion, Carlton Livingston with Chalice in Mind. Mutabaruka that year too, not just every time I hear the song, but he did Sit Down on the Wall, Butter Pan Culture, The System is a Fraud. Dennis Brown had Old Man River. John Holt also had another song dedicated to women, Fat She Fat.
Yes,
that song. And of course, Lady Ann's Informer on the Headless Rhythm with Johnny Osborne, Rock and Comenia.
You have to play the Lady Ann thing. But I want to go back to... You agree with that, Mikey?
And Yellowman Morning Ride, that was on Yellowman and Fathead Bam Bam. Dennis Brown's Caress Me Girl. But I tell you, Barry Salmon with one of his breakout songs, Riverbank. That was 1982 too.
The Mutabaruka thing, it's very significant that at a time when the music is sort of shifting into there's a kind of consolidation that's now coming out of Jamaican music in that 1980s period. It seems as if, to my mind, that having gotten rid of a lot of the political tribalism of the 70s, the atmosphere within the country had sort of settled, and so you're getting a different vibe, as you call it, Mikey. But then it was kind of the calm before the storm, because by the we introduced Yellowman. Yellowman was a significant shift in Jamaican music, right?
Yeah.
Marley by this time had passed on. The dancehall culture is now opening up. In fact, it opened up a little earlier because with Sugar Man at 79.
Revisiting Studio One's
put some Studio One
catalog.
rhythms. Right. But Yellowman was sort of the frontal attack of this thing. And what was worse is that Yellowman sort of smadditized, to use a Rexnet for the word, the Dundus thing, because normally you say a Dundus in Jamaica and everybody, if you don't walk on the side of the road, everybody go on the other side of the street.
Virgin albino.
Whatever you have. Well, we call it Jamaica, we call him Dundus, albino, right? And so for somebody to poke fun at himself in the way Yellowman did, and then use that as a springboard to literally take over Jamaican music in that 1981, 82 period up to about 1985 is very, very significant.
Yeah, man. A big song during that era too was Mighty Diamond's Heads of Government.
Yeah.
There you go. But
Yellowman thing was is a lesson in marketing, is a lesson in using whatever it is, turning things to an advantage. And so people came out to see him because I heard him was doing this, ready to criticize. But he was so good at what he was doing that he was laughing first.
Yes.
But he was connecting. As a Grace employee, I was wondering what you thought about the song.
I was at Grace Kennedy at the time, Mike. I was there. And I have to give credit to, it's a genius of, at the time it was Ivan O'Yee. Ivan now live in Canada. And he was the marketing man. In fact, he was the one who employed me away from the library at the time. And so when the Grace was literally, we had just come out of the elections. Remember, we had the shortages of the 1970s. And so Grace Kennedy was kind of poised to literally launch their operation. The marketing department at Grace Kennedy was new because I went there to join that marketing department. And so when Yellowman bust the song, first of all, there are two versions of the song. And they were trying to get it played on the radio. And Ivan approached Yellowman and he reworked the lyrics to bring the ketchup thing in. And Grace, through Ivan again, some dealings with the RJR under the quiet. And we basically gave RJR the lion's share of what would have been Grace's advertising budget at the time. And they took, the song went to the moon and back, and Grace ketchup sales went to Mars, right? It established Grace Kennedy's ketchup as a leading tabletop sauce in the Caribbean. And it also pulled a lot of the Grace products with it. Things like Grace Butterbean. In fact, there was a little ad that they make where they say the Grace, and the girls say Grace tomato ketchup, Grace Butterbean, Grace hot pepper sauce, and that kind of thing. But it was really some significant marketing. And again, my credit, I have to give Ivan Yee at the time credit for the work he did with that.
That year,
it show the power of artists, in other words, and that when that connection is made with corporate or with a product, how they can help each other.
Absolutely. In fact, one of the criticisms that we have of our music today, our corporate Jamaica, is the role that they can play, using that song as an example, to sort of, if you ask me, reorient the music, if you will. Because one of the things Jamaican music lack is that level of corporate involvement. And I think that Grace Kennedy experience was sort of a jab, a sort of a jar in the door that's saying, here's a look at what can be done if we try to open the door a little wider and bring more corporate involvement into the music.
A couple of other honorable mentions would have been Jimmy Cliff's Street the Youth, right? And apart from the ska telling people how to dance, Johnny Osborne had a song called Water Pumping, which was a big dance in the dance hall at the time.
Big
yep. And Tommy Cowan had a big song too, Aya Coming, you know, which was one of those Nyabingi chants. And there was the festival song at the year was the Astronauts Make We Jam, you know. Steel Pulse made their big entry and in that year too with one of their albums. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but that was like Chant a Psalm a Day and
That was big.
their other songs, Your House and Ravers, Leroy Smart, Draw Card. It was huge, man. 1982 was big.
Hi there. If you enjoyed that clip, go on over to our website at yardmedia.com where you can watch the entire broadcast at your leisure. And while you're there, why don't you check out our other reggae music features? And before you leave, pick up some of our Jamaican reggae merchandise and hey, don't forget to tell your friends.
My name is Garth, otherwise known as Big G.
My name is Richie Blackford.